there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a special announcement. I am finally free from a lot of my responsibilities as a swim coach. The swim season is over and I have a lot more time on my hands. So I thought I'd put that focus back into the Rogue Deck Builder kind of brand or kind of community. One of the things when I started the channel and started the RogueDeckBuilder.com website is I really wanted to find all the brewers out there in the MTG multiverse and bring us all together to have this really brewing and rogue strategy type community. And for the past, I would say 6 months or so, I've been a little bit distracted with life and hadn't had time to really do that. And one of the things we used to do is competitions. So I've had this idea for what's called the Rogue Master Brewer, which is going to be a bi-monthly competition. Well, probably either monthly or bi-monthly competition, where I'm going to pick a card and a format, and then I'm going to open it up to you, the public, to create the deck. Now, I might create a deck with this. I think I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a baseline to start and then let you guys go from there. So I will have all the rules up at RogueDeckBuilder.com. In fact, let's just check that out right now. So I've got a post up here. You can go check it out. This is the Rogue Master Brewer Tiny Leaders Animar Soul of Elements. So for this competition, we're going to use the Animar Soul of Elements. What you're going to do is you're going to build a Tiny Leaders deck with Animar Soul of Elements, and we judge this on creativity and originality, synergy and flow, competitiveness, fun factor, and I've got all the instructions here on the website, so I'll have all the links in the description. Go check out the website and get those decks brewing. So we're gonna have a really cool prize for this one. I guess I need to add what the prize is going to be. So the first place prize for this Animar Soul of Elements is going to be an altered Animar Soul of Elements. It's going to have a little spoiler alert. I'll show the artwork when it's done, but we're going to turn this guy into a rogue looking or a pirate looking Soul of Elements. So anyway, this is going to be, the altar is going to be done by my good friend Zach over MtgalterBoy. I'll link his channel. You can see some of his artwork that he's done on his channel for MTG cards. So let's go back to the list here. So again, I'm just going to not really talk about this. I chose this card. I was going to build an Animar Soul of Elements, and I had an idea for it. And the more I looked at this card, the more I was like, wow, this card just has so much potential. So you've got protection from white and from black. And whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1 from the counter on Animar Soul of Elements. And the creature spell you cast costs 1 less to cast for each +1 from counter. You can go infinite with so many ways with this, guys. But besides that, there's just so many different little synergies you could go. To just name a few, like Glimpse of Nature, of course, seems to be broken with any sort of artifact type card. You can basically cast your entire deck and then draw a bunch of cards. It does really, really hurt that Beck Call is not available. Beck Call, of course, has a white mana symbol in it, so you cannot use it in the Tiny Leaders format. But there's other strategies you could use to kind of go infinite. We have Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar, which then can sacrifice the creatures that you've cast for near free or almost free, and then that actually works good with like a card like Fecundity. And there's just, again, so many different routes you can go. You kind of go a Storm route with that and then finish it off with like Storm Entity or Grape Shot. You have cards like Wild Cantor and Skirk Prospector that they can sacrifice themselves, so they're basically free spells. So if you have anything that's drawing you cards like Glimpse of Nature or any enter the battlefield, die, sacrifice effect, you can really abuse it. So speaking of enter the battlefield effects, you have cards like Fairy Imposter and Equilibrium. When you cast spells, you can return creatures to their hand. Just so much synergy. Thought of a card like Furious Assault, do a damage to a player. And of course, the dreaded Retraction Helix combo with like Intruder Alarm. You can then give a creature, you could actually give this to Animar and then cast a 0-drop, or any sort of Arctic spell that you've got enough counters on there, and then Intruder Alarm's going to untap him over and over and over and over, and then if you get anything out of the cast effect, then, or you're just going to make Animar infinite. He's going to go up to 1,000, then you can swing in with him and whatnot. So anyway, I'm not going to go over all these cards, but this is just, I probably spent like 15 minutes just looking at cards that have so much synergy with Animar of Souls. And I mean, there's some cool cards in here, like Mistcutter Hydra. You get abused. The Tiny Leaders is converted mana cost 3 or less, but that's including those in your decks. It doesn't mean you can't cast a spell with converted mana costs above that. So Mistcutter Hydra is a converted mana cost of 1, but again, if you can add a ton of mana, this could actually be your kill condition. So there's a lot of those type of cards, and just this card just seemed like a great way to try to get you guys interested in both brewing decks and tiny leaders. I am absolutely in love with tiny leaders. It is like that little niche that I wanted to find. Like, again, I've talked about it in my other videos that Commander is a little bit hostile to players like me. I'm a 1 versus 1 type player. I don't really like free for all. When I used to play StarCraft, I rarely ever did 2 versus 2 or even 3 for 3 or FFA. It was always 1 versus 1. So I kind of like 1 versus 1 decks, me pitting my intelligence versus my opponents or creativity versus my opponents. And this format is just wide open with fresh new ideas. And I'm sure someone's done an Animar Soul of Elements. Like, there's not a lot of data on tiny leaders, but again, the decks that I looked at did not really go the routes that I was thinking of going. So anyway, you can look over this list that I have here on MTGO right now and see. This could hopefully give you a baseline for ideas. But again, we are going to be judging on the premise of these criterias here. Like I said, creativity and originality, synergy and flow, competitiveness, and fun factor. So again, go check this out. So let me just give you a couple of helpful links here. We have the Reddit actually has a tiny leaders page. So one of the things that if you are going to submit a submission to this competition is you're going to have to do a few things. So this is to spread the word about the Rogue Deck Builder brand as well as these competitions. The more the merrier. So you're going to help me out with that by whenever you submit a submission to the email, which once you do build a deck and you do put it on like tappedout.net or like TCG Player, you need to have some external site where you can actually build a deck. We're going to work on a way to actually submit it to the Rogue Deck Builder website, but I am pretty terrible with building websites, so I'm going to have some people help me, and once we get that up, we'll try to actually host this in-house, but right now I don't have the ability to do so. So you're going to go to either tappedout.net, and you can actually create a deck in tappedout.net, or, I mean, you can use whatever site you want. I'm not specifically endorsing tappedout.net. I just know that it's one that you can actually create a deck, and it will actually bring it up, and you can browse through the cards. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a deck on one of these external websites. Then you're going to link that deck list in your submission. And number 2 is the deck list must include somewhere in the description or title that this is for the Rogue Master Brewer competition. So you can either title it like Rogue Master Brewer competition Animar, or like I know Tapped Out has a description where you can actually talk about the deck and give updates on the deck and just mention somewhere that it's in the Rogue Master Brewer competition. You get bonus points if you link to the actual competition, which will be either this YouTube video or the website. Then you are also required to link your deck list to one more place and then include that in your email. So you can link it on your Facebook page, you can link it on the Rogue Deck Builder Facebook page, you can link it on some other Facebook page, you can link it on Reddit, you can link it on your Tumblr, you can make a video on YouTube, or you can go to any sort of Magic the Gathering dedicated forum like Gathering Magic's forum. You could go to the Mothership's forum and just link your deck list and a little bit of description about the competition and what you submitted, and then include that in your submission for your email. And that's basically all I require in the submission. Again, you're gonna have to follow the tiny leader formats, and you're gonna have to use Animar as your commander, and then you're gonna try to build the most creative deck. When we have all the submissions, this is gonna go till the 14th. I guess I should put that in the description here. It's gonna go the 14th of March, so you have a little less than a month to actually brew this deck. And then we'll start the voting process. And how the voting process is going to work is we're going to either choose, my staff at roguedeckbuilder.com is going to choose our favorite decks, and then we are going to make a bracket, either a top 16 or a top 8 bracket, and then randomly pit those against other decks. And then we're going to have you vote on our Facebook page or our website or our Reddit page. We'll have different venues because I know a lot of you aren't Redditors or Facebookers. But we'll have 3 different venues where you can vote on your favorite deck, and the ones with the most votes will move on to the next round, where they'll be pitted against another deck, and finally someone will be crowned the Rogue Deck or the Rogue Master Brewer and get that prize of the Alternate Art Animar. We also will have a runner-up. We'll also receive a prize. I don't know exactly what that prize will be right now, whether it be a playmat or whatnot. And then we're also going to do an honorable mention, which can actually be taken from the entire pool of submissions. So anyone that we feel went above and beyond or had this really creative deck that might have made the top 8 and not won, or might not have even made the top 8 and won, and just was a really interesting idea, we're going to give them as a prize too. So you're going to be eligible for 3 different prizes. So let's see if I've forgotten anything here. So anyway, like for example, like one place you could actually link your deck is for this competition, if you want to get that criteria of linking it to an external site. Reddit.tinyleaders is a great place to, since it's relevant, since everyone here looks at tiny leader decks, this would be a great place to link it. Again, you can link it on, if we will be giving out bonus points, so if you do go above and beyond, you have a better chance of making the top 8. So if you have your own YouTube channel, go ahead and do a video deck tech of your deck, or you can even do gameplay footage. You can have your buddies tape you playing it at a tournament. You can do you can actually, if you have your own blog or website, you can write up a little bit of a deck tech or article about your Animar deck, and etc., just to include that in the link. And the more above and beyond you go, the more bonus points I'll try to influence you getting into the top 8. So again, I really want to spark interest in brewing. I think that's one thing that is too often ignored in Magic the Gathering. I'm not against net decking. I'm not against tournament play of using a deck that's already finely tuned, but I do think that it's just a missed opportunity for a lot of people to actually use their creative brains and create a fresh new deck. And I think Tiny Leader is one of the reasons why I'm choosing this for the first Rogue Master Brewer. Is it's just a wide open format where there isn't really any defined metagame yet, or net decking. Well, I mean, you can look up decks, but I mean, it's not so defined like Standard or Modern or Legacy. So anyway, happy brewing. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the competition, what we could do differently. Again, this is just going to be, we're going to learn as we go. We'll make this more entertaining, more fun, and we'll go from there. I'm going to try to get some sponsors as well, and we're really going to try to get this community up and running. I feel bad the last 6 months I've kind of just let the channel stagnate a little bit. Again, I was really into the coaching the swim team and the other responsibilities that I had. I got a puppy within that time and been doing a lot of adventures with her. But anywho, I'm back and focused on the Rogue Deck Builder website and YouTube channel. I'm going to try to start brewing a ton more for Standard, Modern, etc., and not just do Soul Sister matchups like I've been doing for the past couple months. And yeah, I really want to involve the community. So thank you for sticking with me. Be sure to tell your friends about the competition. We want to get more people into the brewing. Again, that's the whole goal. The more the merrier. So appreciate all of you. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.